Hi guys, my name is Vinnie. This guy over here.
David Wright, welcome and happy to be here.
So this is kind of interesting. We did it last week, and before that, we took a little break. So this is back-to-back weeks. Kind of excited for this one.
We're actually going back to back because Vinny, I don't know if you thought about this, but I think we're going to have to go full robot with this and just go like an AI program, and we'll just continue this to continue to give you better and better data, like an AI learning system where we just get better every week.
Oh, I don't know about that. That was a deep dive. Anyway, we got the clicker going below of active properties, pending, detached, all that kind of stuff. So take a look. I mean, we're still, around 3,700 properties active in the market currently. Pending properties a little bit under 2,200, 2,300. So I mean, inventory is slowly trickling up. We're seeing kind of interesting market. One thing before we get into rates is I have the numbers for last month.
Let's take a look at that. And what about market time too, Vinny? Let's also not look at just the listings. Well, let's look at the market time now of how long it's taking for properties to sell.
Yeah, it was 14 days as of last month. But the pricing, I mean, so interesting too, is the pricing is right here. This is across the board. Median price across the board is 900. But for the detached, a little under 1.1. So 1.1 for detached. List of sold, I mean, about 100 across the board.
Do you want to hear something interesting, Vinny, since you just showed that? Is that's the current price right now.
Yeah.
Well, CoreLogic came out with its top 10 best appreciation cities yesterday. And San Diego was 11.1% year-over-year appreciation. From last year till now, and last year rates were higher than they are now. And now the rates are a little bit lower, and we're at 11.1% year-over-year for appreciation. And then just last month, according to CoreLogic, home prices went up 1.1%. So it always puts a thing in there like everyone's waiting for the market to crash, and it hasn't crashed yet. And now rates are slowly starting to trickle down. So we might see some other things start happening. Very unusual.
Well, if rates go down, I mean, we're probably going to see, I mean, the market jump, the values jump. The interesting thing is and it's trying to show numbers to actually support this. Just basically just be on the floor. I really think there's two markets right now. There's the detached market and the attached market. The thing is price. I mean, we're so price sensitive. We've been price sensitive probably the last 2 years or so, right? Buyers are less about, hey, I want to get this community. They're more about where can I buy at this price point, right? Where can I afford? And so when you look at attached properties, you're factoring the HOA on that property, and that gives you about, I mean, based on the community, I mean, about 50,000 to 70,000 of buying power if you go to a detached property. So if you're buying a $500,000 condo, you're kind of close to a same monthly payment at a $600,000 house, right? So,
which, full disclosure, for those of you out there who are about to hate on Vinny, I just closed on a deal last week on a single family home for $611,000 in San Marcos. Hell of a deal. And the client before, like you mentioned, Vinny, was shopping condos at $550.
Yeah, I mean, so 600. I mean,
it's not a unicorn yet. Not a unicorn yet.
But if we use those same numbers at like 550, right? Which there's condos at 550 here, there's condos at 600. Now it makes it even more palatable to go, okay, I'm just going to jump into the single family. But even if you're buying at 500 or 550, right? You go, okay, well, 550 is going to really push me to like 650 for detached house. Maybe I pay an extra $50,000 in purchasing price and buy something at 700, and I have a house that I own, right? So, I mean, that's, I think, where the divide's happening a little bit.
Well, true, Vinny, but I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So, do HOAs usually decrease or increase?
Well, I mean, they increase. Plus, you got to talk about insurances, right?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's amazing.
Right. So, if you have a bad HOA that's not factoring in insurance, right, like
and funding requirements,
yeah, the blanket policy, right? And insurance is going up. Yes, your property insurance is going to go up too. But if the HOA is not factoring in, if basically for the last year and a half, they haven't been taking in enough income to offset those numbers, and now they have repairs coming too, there can be issues, right? So I'm not saying that condos are bad, attached properties are bad at all. It's just a lot of these things are factoring into, well, where do I buy? Do I buy, basically pay a little extra, not deal with the HOA, or do I just get what I can afford and then make the jump later on?
Definitely not saying anything negative, Nelly, about condos and townhomes. They're a great way to get in the market. It's just, it's good to present the options to say, hey, if you're paying an HOA of 300, 400, or if you're in downtown San Diego and it's 800 to 1,000, you might as well look at the single family residences. And the other thing that I'm just going to bring into the equation here just to look at is the worker productivity numbers came out the other day. And worker productivity means how productive is a worker on the job site. Well, they came in at 0.2, which means they're not even working at 1% full. So basically it's saying a lot of people are working slack ass at their jobs. And in turn, that makes all the products they're producing cost 4% higher. And why do I mention this? Because if the workers are being more slack ass and the product's costing 4% higher, that means inflation for that product unit is 4% higher. And if the Fed keeps seeing this go like this, they will have to turn around and look at the inflation and be like, wow, man, this is kind of getting out of control, because you can't control worker productivity, but you can control a lot of factors. And this is something that it will come into the economy more and more. And as the election gets closer and worker productivity is lower, you're going to want to see the Fed to try and stimulate something. Or it just may be the bond market itself with the Fed doing nothing, go, hey, this is really bad. We're pulling back, and that will allow rates to naturally drop, which may happen in itself, which we're kind of already seeing right now for a lot of lenders out there who are at different places of employment, are set up differently. Their rates are already lower already now, and they have dropped, and the pricing's gotten better. So don't be discouraged. If you were priced out of the market 3-4 months ago when you talked to a lender, re-talk to them now, because the rates are lower.
What would you say the rates are right now?
I mean, your average 30-year fix is like 6.875. If you look on websites, it's going to tell you like 7.10. And your FHA VA is like 6% or 5.875. Those are all, APR 0.125 add to the rate. I have to put that disclaimer in there. But those are basically no point loans based on a 720 FICO, which is not bad. Like, if you're getting a 30-year fixed rate at 6.875 compared to 6 months ago when it was 7.5, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think people just got, probably scared off, right? Their rates are just so high. I'm not going to even keep an eye on the market. I'm just going to wait until I hear basically the news telling me that the rates are down again, right?
By the time the news hits out there, like jumbo now is 6.99, APR 0.125 higher, 7.125. But if you start looking around now, there's lenders out there that have better rates that can help you at least get into the home. Because I know we've been saying this for a while, and I'm still going to hold by my prediction. I think 2 months before the election, I strangely think rates are going to drop. And even if it's 25 basis points, and rates go to average is 6.75 or 6.625, that's amazing for the consumer. Like, that's historically speaking, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And if you're FHA or VA, wow, you already got some better stuff going right now. So keep that in there. And VA has construction loans now too.
Yeah, there's so many different loan types out there. If you've listened to us the last week, you heard that we talked about I think it's a HUD 184 loan for Native Americans and Alaska Natives. There's down payment assistance programs. You can ask. If property's sitting, they might be inclined to offer some credits, a buy down. These were popular, probably about a year or so ago, 2-1 buy downs, right? Things like that. So there's
the other thing that you mentioned, Vinnie, those two programs are exceptional. There's another grant program that basically only works in San Diego for the home prices, where if you're purchasing at 600,000, they'll give you a grant for the 3% down payment, and you don't pay anything. You just have to have your agent negotiate closing costs. Boom. That's not a bad deal either. And that's not the standard down payment assistance programs that kind of screw you over. And the rate's not that bad. It's like 7.875. Not bad for zero money down.
Well, where do you, if you had a guess, where do you think rates are going to be in a week from now?
Ooh, God, I'm not smart enough for that, my friend.
What about a month from now?
I think pretty similar to today.